What is going on, Halo fans? Luke the Notable here. I know I still sound sick. The last couple of videos that you guys have seen, or at least the ones that have been sprinkled, I'm starting to do kind of all at once. I'm sick, I'm stuck at my house, and a lot of different problems that arose in my Halo game. Now, since I've come back to Halo after being very sick, I've noticed that my shot has deteriorated a lot. In the past, I've talked about how to improve your accuracy, but in this video, I'm going to talk about how I got my accuracy back to where it used to be. For what I did, I went into Warzone Assault. If you don't like Warzone Assault, you can use all the methods that I'm doing in free-for-all as well. These methods are probably going to decrease your scores for a little bit, so that's why I say do it in Warzone Assault first, because that's a social playlist. Free-for-all, your rank would be at stake. So what did I do when I first came back to get my shot back after a couple days without even seeing Halo, touching Halo? What I did is I came into Warzone Assault and I played only AR. I tried to get at least 70% accuracy my first game using only the assault rifle at long and close range. If I did a lot of long range, it'd be hard to get to that 70 because you can see that it's pretty hard to hit some of these shots. But if I was playing like a game where I was mostly close range and I got 70, then I decided that I was going to move on to the next step. Melee's totally okay. The biggest thing you want to do though is notice that the assault rifle requires a lot of kind of concentrated fire. It requires you to really hold your reticle over the other player in order to get that kill. If you snap your reticle all the way around with an assault rifle like I'm doing right now, you're just gonna be spraying everywhere. You're not gonna hit any bullets. So it forces you to kind of follow your target with your reticle as you're shooting. Especially at long range because there's no auto aim and it's just much harder. It's very hard to keep this reticle on any of these red guys. Now, I'm not shooting just so I can kind of prove my point a little bit, but this is kind of the engagement you want to do. Maintaining accuracy on a target is exactly what you want to reach with the regular pistol, but it's much harder to do when you're constantly pulling the trigger and adjusting your aim. So we're taking baby steps. We're using an assault rifle and we're training ourselves to use this assault rifle and maintain that accuracy. I actually used to do this in Halo 4 when I was, thinking about all the different reasons that a shot might deteriorate over time. I used to be a tipped guy back then, and that was my theory. Never made a video on it though. Anytime I felt that my aim was starting to kind of deteriorate, I would switch over to do an entire game with the assault rifle. I chose Warzone Assault in Halo 5 because Warzone Assault, generally the recs don't get that high, so using an assault rifle, you can pretty much do it for the entire game. That, and it gives you a lot of opportunities for long-range assault rifle play with the smart scope, which will also help your accuracy. So what you want to do after playing your first game is play a couple more, maybe do 4 or 5. Try to set an accuracy goal for yourself. In that video where I was kind of demonstrating a lot and showing a lot of shots by just shooting up in the air, I got an accuracy of 55%. So my true accuracy was probably around 60-65. I would probably shoot to say maybe have a goal of reaching 60 to 70% accuracy 3 times in a row. So once you have level 2, what you're going to be doing is something that everyone in the game can do, and that's going to be wrecking a Carbine. The Carbine will teach you to shoot very quickly, and then when you move on to a Magnum, which is a much slower shot, you're kind of forcing your brain and your muscle memory to slow down. One thing I will say is try not to use the smart scope though. If you use the smart scope with the Carbine, you're going to get a lot more range than you would with the regular Magnum. Even without smart scope, you do have more range, but you're looking for the speed of your trigger. You're gonna die, and you might not have enough rec to keep wrecking these, and that's because this isn't the actual end of this tip video. What actually got my accuracy back was using the Gunfighter Magnum. Similarly to the Carbine, it has a very quick rate of fire, but it doesn't have the same amount of range. So with this, I would say smart scope is okay. It's a much faster trigger pull, so you kind of have to really focus on maintaining that accuracy, much like the assault rifle. But then once you go to a Magnum, you're used to a faster trigger pull. So when you slow down that trigger pull for the regular Magnum, you're going to be much slower and then get higher accuracy. At least that's how it worked for me. Going from a fast to a slow trigger pull, meaning going from the Gunfighter Magnum or the Carbine to a regular Magnum, can trick your brain into slowing down and focusing on accuracy. At least that's my theory. It worked for me, and that's my crazy theory of why it worked. I love shooting at faraway vehicles as they move because it does kind of teach you to kind of trace that thing way in the distance. And if you can trace it way in the distance with a Gunfighter Magnum without any auto aim, then you can trace it once you are using a regular pistol, a battle rifle, DMR, and you have auto aim. Things to remember though, this is not a quick fix and you're probably going to play bad. I'm only 7-7 this game and I'm just doing terrible with this gun. It's not a gun that really can compete with something like the pistol because it has a similar time to kill and worse range and auto aim and accuracy and everything like that. Thank you all for watching. Please post any comments down in the comment section. Reading comments is my favorite part about YouTube. Stay notable and I'll see you in the next video.